you had to choose your own name, what would it be? Again, the question is, Marty, if you had to choose your own name, what would it be?
Good afternoon, my fellow Toastmasters, my friends from Vocera, and all of you out there in YouTube land. If I had to change my own name, what would it be? Of course, the easiest thing would be to say, well, I wouldn't want to change my own name, but that's not the question, right? So the question would be, if I had to change my own name, what would it be? I think the first thing that I would do is I would start going back into my personal history, or maybe even the history of the world, and start looking at people I liked, or people I admired, or people that were sort of role models for me. So some of the first names that pop into my head, when I would say I was about 12 years old, my hero was Joe Willie Namath of the New York Jets. From Western PA down to the University of Alabama, played for Paul Bear Bryant. And what I remember vividly as a kid, sort of at that early preteen, teenage years, was what a cool guy with this long hair. And he showed up in New York City, and he had this giant contract to play football. I think he signed probably a 5-year contract for all of $1 million. And so the thing I liked about it was his name was Joe Namath, but I liked that he had this cool middle name, Willie. So if I was going to come up with something, I guess I would still keep maybe Marty, and I would obviously keep my last name. But what I really admired about Joe was that it was Joe Willie, right? You didn't have to say Joe Namath or just Joe. Everybody just called him Joe Willie. And to my knowledge, I don't think William was his middle name. It was just a cool sounding name. So I have to come up with something like, I mean, Hokey could be Smarty Marty, right? I got that a lot when I was growing up, or Marty Farty. Got that a lot when I was growing up. So since my real name is Martin, we'll go with Martin, and we'll add S to the beginning. And so I'll say that my new cool nickname is Smartin, because that kind of has a neat sound. I like the SM, so it keeps the Martin in there. Has a flavor of the Smarty. Maybe not quite as cool as Joe Willie, but under the circumstances, that's what I would come up with for my new name. Thank you, Steve, for asking me that question. Mr. Table Topics Master.